Okay, Latin 3, it's time for some new Latin. This is exactly where we left off in the story Consilium Domitiani. And so, to give you some context of what was going on, remember, they received this letter from Agricola in which he was describing how he conquered the Caledonians, that is to say, the people in modern-day Scotland, and the emperor was asking people's opinion, and now various advisors are giving their opinions. You may remember the sentence in which one person was like looking at the ground as he spoke. Anyway, here we pick up the action. Again, make your best attempt to translate on your own. Pause it before you start seeing my translation, and then correct your translation, but at a minimum, study the Latin, master it. There will not be a Socrative assessment until the last day you meet. Cognovimus Domine Caledonios tandem victos esse. We know, Master. Now, we've got an indirect statement construction here. Esse is the infinitive of the verb to be. We know, Master, vinco vincere vici victus. Past participle, to conquer. Conquered, having been conquered. Victi sunt would mean were conquered. But in an indirect statement, you replace sunt with esse. We know, Master, that the Caledonians finally have been conquered. Agricola tamen, hac victoria, nimis elatus est. Agricola, however, take a wild guess on elatus. They have an English word, elated. Nimis means too much. Agricola, however, is too elated. What he's too elated with is expressed in the ablative. The ablative form of he, kai, coke in the feminine is ha, long mark, and the long mark over the a here is ablative. Agricola, however, is too elated with or by this victory. Next sentence. Nam credit insulam Hiberniam facile occupari posse. For, now nam means for, not in the sense of like doing something for someone, but in the sense of like, for this is happening. For credit, for he believes. Now once again, a verb like to believe, to see, to think, to feel, these are going to generate indirect statements. For he believes that. What does he believe that? Insulam Hiberniam is the subject of the indirect statement. The first verb is posse. The infinitive posse, to be able or can. For he believes that the island of Hibernia, that is to say modern-day Ireland, he believes that the island of Hibernia can, now, occupari. You see that R, and you should think infinitive. Normally, of course, an infinitive ends in RE, to occupy. But change the E to an I, and you have a passive infinitive. Occupare, to occupy. Occupari, to be occupied. For he believes that the island of Hibernia can easily be occupied. Next sentence. Ego autem puto agricolam longe errare. I, however, autem is a synonym of tamen. I, however, think, puto. Once again, indirect statement is being triggered here. What I think is that agricolam longe errare. Look it up. Think it through. I, however, think that Agricola Literally, longly heirs. Longe, longly. Whenever you see an long E like that on what otherwise is an adjective, it becomes an adverb. But what does it really mean? Put that into better English. That Agricola longly heirs. Better English, is very wrong, is very mistaken. Okay, next sentence. Hiberni enim et feroces et validi sunt. Now the word enim means the same thing as nam, except it's what we call a post-positive. In other words, enim always appears here as the second word of the sentence. But it means for, and you're going to still translate it as if it were coming first. For the Hiberni, et feroces et validi sunt, are, now when you see et and another et, I want you to start thinking both and. Et, both and. By the same token, out means or, so if et means both and out means or, take a wild guess. What would out be? That's right, either or. For the Hiberni are both fierce and strong. Next sentence. Si copiae nostrae trans mare in Hiberniam ductae erunt, magno periculo obicientur. Now that's a big sentence. So let's dig in. If, just like in Romanian, Spanish, and even in French, if means, si means if. If our forces were led. Now, in reality, this is actually a future tense form. We don't talk about future tense much. It's pretty rare. It primarily occurs in what we call conditional sentences like this. Like, if this happens, then that happens. What Latin likes to do is Latin uses two future tense verbs. If this will happen, that will happen. Ductus sum, I was led. Ductus est, you were led. Ductus est, he, she was led. Ducti sunt, they were led. Ductae sunt, they were led, if it's feminine. So look, ductae goes with copiae. Copiae nostrae ductae sunt. Our forces were led. But in this case, outside the conditional sentence, this would be our forces will be led. But in the conditional, if this were to happen, that would happen, we will translate this as if our forces were led trans mare, across the sea. Trans mare. If our forces were led across the sea in Hiberniam, into Ireland. Now, worth reviewing, ablative plus in means in. In Hibernia, in Hibernia. But accusative plus in means into. In Hiberniam, with accusative ending, into Hibernia. If our forces were led across the sea into Ireland, here's what would happen. It's going to be expressed with a future tense verb. So, obicio, to expose to. But, look people, look, this is a passive ending. So this is going to mean be exposed to. If our forces were led across the sea into Ireland, they would be exposed, magno periculo. In the ablative is what they would be exposed to. They would be exposed to great danger. So again, let's just talk again a little bit about these, what we call future less vivid construction. Two future tense verbs. If I will do this, I will do that. Si ad forum ibo, amicum salutabo. Literally, if I go to the forum, if I will go to the forum, I will greet my friend. But in conditionals, we make it, if I do this, then I would do that. Last sentence, people. Revocandus est agricola. Guess what? This is just Carthago delenda est with different words and a different word order. Carthago delenda est, Carthage must be destroyed. So if the verb revoco, revocare means to recall, basically translate this as if it were agricola revocandus est. It's just a different word order. That's right. Agricola must be recalled. Well, that's that senator's opinion anyway. Okay, people, you've got an amount of Latin here to focus on and study and master for this week. Be well. Valete.